Thank you very much, Joyce. I'm honored to be here, and I also want to thank Patrick Butler, Vice President of ICFJ, and Linnea Parker, the Deputy Director of the Knight International Fellowships, Geneva Sadowitz, and Jujing Shah for all their efforts putting together this new orientation group and fellows who are outstanding journalists. Could you all please raise your hand? I'd like to mention. Thank you. Yes. And now I'm delighted to introduce the new Knight International Journalism Fellows. Eric Bigla is from France, and his project will take him to Guinea. Eric is a freelance radio reporter. He entered journalism in 1988 as publisher and editor of L'Echo, a local weekly. He is a reporter from Bosnia, Turkey, Cyprus, Syria, Iraq, and the Caucasus for media including Radio France and Le Figaro. For the past 3 years, he has been Radio France's correspondent in Marseille. Sputnik Kalambi. She is a French and Indian citizen and will be going to Rwanda. Sputnik is a veteran radio journalist who has worked in Europe, Africa, and Asia. She worked for more than 10 years at Radio France Internationale as a producer and presenter. She also produced documentaries on the humanitarian fallout from the conflicts in Afghanistan, Sri Lanka, and Colombia in collaboration with the International Committee of the Red Cross. Sputnik helped set up the first multi-ethnic radio in post-war Kosovo with an NGO. And she later moved to West Africa, where she set up and ran the United Nations radio station in the Ivory Coast. Maria Martin, a former fellow, is a U.S. citizen who was born in Mexico. She will be in Guatemala. Maria is a pioneering public radio journalist who has won more than 24 awards for her work covering U.S. Latino issues and Latin America. She's developed groundbreaking programs for public radio, including NPR's Latino USA and Después de las Guerras, Central America after the wars. Maria is a recipient of a Fulbright Fellowship and, as I said, a previous Knight International Fellow. Karen Rothmeyer, Karen Rothmeyer, a U.S. citizen, will work in Kenya and Tanzania. This is her second Knight Fellowship as well in Kenya. Karen became a journalist after a stint in Kenya as a Peace Corps volunteer. For the past 8 years, she has been managing editor of The Nation. She has worked as a reporter and editor at news organizations including Newsday and the Wall Street Journal. She also taught for several years at the Graduate School of Journalism at Columbia, wrote a book about the Pulitzer Prizes, and won an IRE Award for investigative reporting. Susana Cejas is a Mexican and British citizen, and she'll be working in Mexico. Susana is a freelance journalist based in Mexico City. She currently hosts a half-hour nightly news program for Mexico City's Imagen Radio. She was a producer for BBC News and also worked for 60 Minutes too, the Discovery Channel, Fox News, Voice of America, TV Azteca in Mexico, Latin America Press in Peru, and the Herald News in New Jersey, among others. Susana worked at the Freedom Forum in London, and she is president of the Mexico Advisory Committee of the Roy Peck Trust, an NGO dedicated to the welfare of freelance journalists. And a few of our fellows could not be with us tonight. They had other commitments. They include Ana Arana, who will be in Mexico, Maria Gabriela Carrascalao, who will be in East Timor, and Yasmin Al-Rashidi, who will work in Egypt. So we are very honored to have this distinguished group of Knight International Journalism Fellows. Please join me in congratulating them, and thank you for coming to our